morning, children. Today we will talk about the structure of the human heart. The human heart is of the size of a closed fist. If you close your fist, this is what is the approximate size of your heart. And let me tell you, it's a wrong notion or belief that heart is located on the left hand side. The heart is located just in the center of our chest cavity. You can see the location here in the center of the chest cavity between the two lungs. Heart is located in the center. Then why do we get a feeling that the heart is beating on the left hand side? That is because heart is roughly triangular in shape, as you can see, and the conical end of this heart is slightly tilted towards the left side. Now what you can see as right is actually the left. If I stand like this is my right side and this is the left. So what you see here, the image is laterally inverted. So this side is the left side, and as you can see, heart is slightly inclined towards the left. So first piece of information, what you gain today is heart is not located in the center. It's not located on the left, it is located in the center of the chest cavity. And why do we feel it's on the left? Because its conical end is tilted towards the left side. How would you write the exact location of the heart? So exact location would be in between the two lungs, resting on the diaphragm. If you remember, we have studied that our body cavity is divided into thoracic or chest cavity and abdominal cavity, and the two are separated by a muscular sheet called diaphragm. So location of heart in the center of the chest cavity between the two lungs and resting on the diaphragm. Second thing that you need to know is how is the heart protected? Now there is a bony structure which protects the heart, and that is the rib cage. There is a membrane which protects the heart, and that is the pericardium. The heart is enclosed in a membranous sac which is called the pericardium, and this sac has space in between. The layers or membranes have space in between, which is filled with a fluid called the pericardial fluid. Now heart is constantly working, contracting and relaxing, and it is likely to face a lot of friction. And what reduces this friction and provides lubrication? The pericardial fluid. So now three-way protection we have to discuss, which is given to the heart. First, which bony structure provides protection? The rib cage. Secondly, which membrane provides protection to the heart? Pericardium, or the which membranous sac rather, pericardium, and which fluid provides lubrication, reduces friction and provides protection to the heart? The pericardial fluid. So this is all you need to know about protection. Coming to the chambers of the heart, as you can see here, the heart, it doesn't look like a rectangle as I have made here, but this is a simple line diagram to help you understand. Heart actually looks like this, but here the chambers are not quite clear or visible. So I made a simplified line diagram for you to understand. The two upper chambers of the heart are called auricles or atria, and the two lower chambers of the heart are called ventricles. So we have the right auricle and the left auricle. I told you your right would be book's left, okay? So right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. There is a partition wall or the septa separating the two auricles, which is called interauricular septum, and another septa partition wall separating the two ventricles called the interventricular septum. So these are the four chambers of the heart. Now the thickness of the walls of these chambers varies. Auricles have much thinner walls if you compare them with ventricles. So both auricles, right or left, have thinner walls as compared to the ventricles, because auricles simply have to pump blood from here till here, that is just till the ventricles, whereas ventricles, if you compare with the auricles, have much thicker walls. And there is a difference in the thickness between the walls of right ventricle and left ventricle also. Right ventricle has to send blood only up to the lungs. And you know lungs are located just near the heart. So they have to send blood but just nearby. Whereas the left ventricle has to pump blood to different parts of the body, to the upper as well as to the lower parts of the body, that is from the head to the toes. So for this longer distance circulation, more pressure comes on the walls of the ventricles. So if we compare the four walls, two kinds of questions can be asked. Why auricles have thinner walls as compared to ventricles, or why ventricles have thicker walls as compared to auricles? A general question, you will write that auricles just have to pump blood to the ventricles, whereas ventricles have to send it to different body parts. A general answer would be given. But if you are asked to compare right ventricle with left ventricle, why walls of left ventricle are thicker than the walls of the right ventricle, then you will give a specific reason that right ventricle has to send blood only to the lungs which are located close to the heart, whereas left ventricle has to send blood to far off or distant parts of the body, right from the head to the toe. That is why it has to send the blood to a farther distance. That is why it needs to have more thick and more muscular walls. So this is about the four chambers of the heart. Now we will talk about the different valves present in the heart. Mainly four valves are present in the heart. The tricuspid valve, the bicuspid valve, together known as atrioventricular valves or AV valves, because they are present between the auricle and the ventricle. On the right hand side, what I have represented as TV, I have written short forms here, you can complete it in your copies. So the valve between the right auricle and the right ventricle is the tricuspid valve, and the valve between the left auricle and left ventricle is the bicuspid valve or the mitral valve. What does it mean? Tri means three and cus are cup shaped structures. So these valves consist of three cup shaped structures which are guarding the opening between the right auricle and the right ventricle. What does a valve do? Just in your, like in your plumbing line, a valve is installed to allow only unidirectional flow of water, that is only in one direction, and prevent the backflow. Same work the valves are doing in our heart. They allow unidirectional flow of the blood. From where to where? From right auricle to the right ventricle, and prevent the backflow of blood from the right ventricle back into the right auricle. So preventing backflow is the main thing what you need to write. Any opening or hole would also allow blood to flow. So valve's main function is to allow unidirectional flow of the blood and prevent the backflow. And we will keep this in mind when we write about the functions of other valves as well. Like for tricuspid, it prevents the backflow of the blood from the right ventricle into the right auricle. For bicuspid, which has two cusps, it prevents the backflow of blood from left ventricle into the left auricle. So please take a note of this. And then there are two more valves, that is pulmonary semilunar valve. I have written the short form here. Pulmonary semilunar valve. Semilunar means half moon shaped, and aortic semilunar valve. Aorta originates or arises, on the previous turn we had discussed, from the left ventricle. So just at the point of origin of aorta from the left ventricle, the aortic semilunar valve is present. And pulmonary artery arises from the right ventricle. Just at the point of origin of the pulmonary artery from the right ventricle, pulmonary semilunar valve is present. So you need to know the location. And how do we write the function? By using the word prevents backflow, and then you have to tell from where to where. So pulmonary semilunar valve will prevent the backflow of blood from the pulmonary artery back into the right ventricle, and aortic semilunar valve will prevent the backflow of blood from the aorta back into the left ventricle. So once the blood flows from auricles to ventricles or from ventricles into pulmonary artery or aorta, it is not supposed to come back. It is supposed to move in a unidirectional manner, single direction, and these valves will prevent its return. Now these valves, the tricuspid valves, the 3 cusps are there, and bicuspid 2 cusps, these cusps are held in position. They are held in position by tendinous cords made up of tendon. They are called chordae tendineae, and chordae tendineae in turn are positioned by papillary muscles. So if you see here in the heart, if you see in the inner view of the heart here, you would find here these projections from the walls of the ventricles are the papillary muscles, and at their tip the papillary muscles are bearing tendinous cords which are called chordae tendineae, and these chordae tendineae at their tips are having the cusps of the tricuspid and bicuspid valves. Just like the ropes hold the parachute in its place or a tent in its place, same way these cusps are held in position by the chordae tendineae, which in turn are held in position or they are present at the tip of papillary muscles. So papillary muscles are present projecting from the inner walls of the ventricles, and at their tip they bear chordae tendineae, and function of chordae tendineae is to hold the cusps of the tricuspid and the bicuspid valves in position so that they do not overturn. Otherwise they would allow the backflow to occur if they upturn. So upturning of valves is prevented by the chordae tendineae. Their cusps are held in position. So I hope the 4 chambers of the heart and the 4 main valves, their location and their function is clear to you. So in valve, whether you write that it allows flow from here to here, whether you write or not, it's okay, but main thing you need to mention is it prevents the backflow from where to where. Now we talk about the major vessels which enter and leave the heart. Here you will see this vessel which is entering the heart is the superior vena cava, and another vessel which is entering the heart is the posterior or inferior vena cava. The 2 vena cavas are bringing deoxygenated blood from upper and lower parts of the body. We have discussed this in the previous class about systemic circulation. So deoxygenated blood is collected by these vena cava, and this is a part of the systemic circulation that it is moving into the heart. Which chamber of the heart? Right auricle. It is receiving which 2 blood vessels? The anterior or superior vena cava and the posterior or inferior vena cava. Another vessel which is entering the heart is the pulmonary vein. From where is the pulmonary vein bringing, and what is it bringing? It is bringing blood, and it is bringing what kind of blood? Oxygenated blood from the lungs into left auricle. So the 3 main vessels which enter the heart: superior vena cava, inferior vena cava and your pulmonary vein. The 3 main vessels which are leaving the heart, okay, rather 3 main vessels. This is aorta which is leaving the heart. Now it is leaving from which part of the body? It is leaving from the left ventricle, and this aorta is dividing into 2 parts, the ascending aorta and the dorsal aorta, which is coming to the lower side. So the ascending aorta is carrying the blood from the heart to the upper parts of the body, whereas the descending aorta or the dorsal aorta is bringing blood from the heart to the lower parts of the body. So this vessel is leaving the heart. We have to represent it by an outward moving arrow, which means it is leaving. Another blood vessel which is leaving the heart is the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is carrying the blood away from the right ventricle. Which kind of blood? Deoxygenated blood, and carrying it where? To the lungs for oxygenation. So major blood vessels leaving the heart are the aorta, that is the ascending and the descending aorta, and the pulmonary artery, which is a part of the systemic circulation. If we individually see the pulmonary and the systemic circulation here, we will find that pulmonary circulation originates from the right ventricle and ends in the left auricle. So pulmonary circulation we discussed in the previous class is between heart and lungs, but originates where? Right ventricle and ends where? Left auricle. Whereas the systemic circulation, it originates from where? From the left ventricle. Okay, it's leaving from here, and where does it end? In the right auricle. So now you have to add this to your double circulation explanation, that why is double circulation called so? Because for completing one full round in the body, blood passes through the heart twice. First, short distance pulmonary circulation between heart and lungs, which originates in the right ventricle and ends in the left auricle. I hope it is clear to you. And second, long distance systemic circulation, which originates in the left ventricle. From here it is originating, and where is it ending? In the right auricle. So always remember, auricles are receiving chambers and ventricles are sending chambers. So blood always enters into the auricles and always leaves from the ventricles. The superior, inferior vena cava and the pulmonary veins are entering the heart. The aortic arch dividing into ascending and dorsal aorta are leaving the heart, and even pulmonary artery is leaving the heart. Pulmonary artery is the only artery which carries deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein is the only vein which is carrying oxygenated blood. Now this is true that veins are carrying blood away from the organs into the heart, but veins normally carry deoxygenated blood. So we discussed this in our previous class, that pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood, the only vein. Now overall, if we talk about the cardiac cycle, it consists of two main phases. The systolic phase or the systole, which is the phase of contraction of the heart. You know that walls of the heart has cardiac muscles, and cardiac muscles are constantly working. So they are contracting and relaxing throughout life. So the phase of contraction is called systole, and the phase of relaxation is called diastole. So every cardiac cycle consists of systole and diastole, but which chambers are in systole, which chambers are in diastole keeps varying. And since it is a cycle, you can't tell from where it's starting, from where it's ending. But yes, for the sake of convenience, we presume auricles are filled with blood. The vena cava, the pulmonary vein has poured the blood into the auricles. So first phase in cardiac cycle is contraction of auricles. And what is contraction? Systole. So since atria are contracting or auricles are contracting, we call it atrial systole or auricular systole. What I have listed here, in a full cardiac cycle which is of 0.85 seconds, for 0.15 seconds both auricles, that is right and left, which were filled with blood, contract. When auricles will contract, what would happen? The openings of the tricuspid and the bicuspid valves open. Blood rushes from the auricles into the ventricles. This happens for 0.15 seconds in one single heartbeat or one single cardiac cycle of 0.85 seconds. Now the blood from the auricles, most of the blood it moves into the ventricles. Next phase, ventricular systole. Systole is the phase of contraction, and now who is contracting? Time for the ventricles to contract. Now these two ventricles are now going to contract. The moment they contract, blood would want to go back into the auricles because there were openings there. But who prevents their backflow? The AV valves, that is tricuspid and bicuspid valves, will prevent its backflow. And who will allow the blood to flow? The pulmonary semilunar valves and the aortic semilunar valves, which are open. Blood will move in this direction. The moment the ventricles contract, both AV valves close sharply because their role is to prevent the backflow. and that is when the first heart sound called lub is produced. Two heart sounds are there, lub and dub. So when is the first heart sound produced? When the two AV valves close sharply. At the beginning of which phase? Ventricular systole. No sound was produced in atricular systole or atrial systole. When ventricular systole occurs, at the beginning of it, blood tries to take a backflow, the two valves close sharply, and this produces the first heart sound. Now what would happen? Blood passes through the aortic and the pulmonary semilunar valves. Now it's time for the ventricles to relax. When auricles were contracting, ventricles were relaxing. When ventricles contract, auricles are relaxing. So first atrial systole is at this time ventricles were relaxing, they were in diastole. Next ventricular systole, just now auricles are relaxing. Now when ventricles start relaxing, that is ventricular diastole begins, there is a time span during which auricles are also in a relaxed state, and this phase is called joint diastole. Joint diastole, that means all four chambers are in a relaxed state. This is heart's very own secret, okay, because normally we say cardiac muscles work tirelessly, heart never stops beating, it never takes rest, but it takes its rest secretly without us coming to know when, during the joint diastole, because first both auricles are contracting, meanwhile ventricles are resting, relaxing, then both ventricles are contracting, meanwhile auricles are resting or relaxing. Now ventricles, the moment they start relaxing for a certain span of time rather than for almost 50% of the cardiac cycle, that is 0.40 seconds, all four chambers are in a relaxed state. So we call this beginning of ventricular diastole, or we can call it beginning of joint diastole. So the second heart sound is produced when these valves close. And when will the pulmonary and the aortic semilunar valves close? When blood tries to flow back from the aorta or from the pulmonary artery into them. And why will the blood try to flow back? Because when they were contracting, blood couldn't go back here, it was passing through this passage. The moment they start relaxing at the beginning of the ventricular diastole, blood would want to come back, and now they close sharply. So the second heart sound, that is dub, is produced due to closure of the semilunar valves, and the first heart sound lub is produced due to closure of the AV valves, that is tricuspid and bicuspid valves. So this is about the two kinds of, or the two heart sounds which are produced and why they are produced. So heart sound is always produced due to closure of the valve. It closes sharply, producing a sound. Just like you close the door or bang the door, it produces a sound. Next we will discuss that who arranges all this, organizes all this, that first auricles should contract, then ventricles should contract, then all four chambers should relax. So all this is coordinated by a pacemaker in our heart. Pacemaker, a speed setter, which is SAN, or the sinoatrial node. SAN, or what we commonly refer to as the sinoatrial node, is a myocardial patch, a patch of special fibers which is located in the upper wall of the right auricle. Now I have a model of heart with me, with the help of which I will be explaining to you the location of the sinoatrial node. Now this is a 3D view what our heart looks like. Okay, I am going to open this and you would be able to see the four different chambers of the heart here. Upper two are the auricles and lower two are the ventricles. Now here you can see a black dot located here close to the opening of the superior vena cava in the upper wall of the right auricle. This is SAN, or the sinoatrial node. So please note down its location, located in the upper wall of the right auricle close to the opening of superior vena cava. So this SAN initiates the cardiac impulse. Its function would be it initiates the cardiac impulse and causes the auricles to contract, because first step is what? Atrial systole. And who would cause atrial systole? SAN. So cardiac impulse initiates here, starts here, and it causes both atria or auricles to contract. Now, just like you run a relay race and you pass on the baton to the next child, in this relay race the next child is what? The AV node or the AVN. So SAN passes the information to the AV node. I hope location and function of SAN is clear to you. Located in the upper wall of the right auricle, close to the opening of superior vena cava. Okay. Next comes AV node. So auricles have already contracted for 0.15 seconds. Who started the cardiac cycle? SAN. And now it gave the message to AV node. Where is AV node located? It is located in the interauricular septum. I told you between the auricles there is an interauricular septum, and somewhere here close to the tricuspid valve the AV node is located. Now in this model you will be able to see one more black dot here. One is here, which is SAN. The other black dot shown here is the AV node. So SAN passes the information to the AV node. AV node's location near the tricuspid valve in the interauricular septum. What will it do? It causes the ventricles to contract. Next step in the cardiac cycle is what? Ventricular systole. For 0.3 seconds ventricles will contract, and who will do that? The AV node or AVN. Now AV node is not doing this alone. It requires assistance. You can't win a relay race alone. You need other teammates as well. So who are the other teammates of AV node? We have bundle of His, again special fibers, and Purkinje fibers. These four are together responsible for the complete coordination of cardiac cycle. SAN initiates the impulse, causes auricles to contract. AV node or AVN, it receives the impulse from SAN and now starts what? The ventricular systole or ventricular contraction. How does it cause the ventricular systole? With the aid of bundle of His and Purkinje fibers. If you see this heart in a model, first SAN started the impulse, it transmitted it to AV node. A bundle of His is special fibers located here, somewhere where auriculoventricular septum is there in the center. Bundle of His is located here. So AV node will pass it to bundle of His. This bundle of His divides into two branches. They run on both sides here of the walls of the heart, that is in this area and this area. These are all fibers here, and these fibers are called Purkinje fibers. So the fibers are in the wall of the ventricle, and they are the ones who are going to contract and cause the ventricular systole. So actually AV node is working together with bundle of His and Purkinje fibers to bring about ventricular systole. So work of SAN is different, to initiate cardiac impulse and to cause auricles to contract, but function of AV node, bundle of His and Purkinje fibers is more or less same, because they all help in the ventricular systole. After that the impulse or message is received by them to relax. So ventricles are relaxing, auricles are already in their relaxed state, and joint diastole occurs. So if you are asked the location, function of any four of these, you should be ready to answer that. Okay, Purkinje fibers are located in the walls of the ventricles. Bundle of His is located in the AV septum, auriculoventricular septum, and function of AV node, bundle of His, Purkinje fibers, all three is to help the ventricles to contract, that is to help in ventricular systole. So this is how all are working together. Now in this model you can also see these are the AV valves here. the tricuspid and the bicuspid valves, and these are the chordae tendineae which are keeping the cusps of these valves in position, and chordae tendineae in turn are supported by the papillary muscles which are located in the inner walls of the ventricles. So this structure or model would enlighten you how the heart works, how it functions. So from here, if you see outside, these two are the upper auricles and we have ventricles here, and you will find lot of blood supply in the walls of the heart. So heart supplies itself also. Just when the aorta originates, this is the aortic arch which is coming out from the heart. Just when the aorta originates, it sends out coronary artery to supply blood to the walls of the heart, and a set of coronary veins collect the deoxygenated blood also and pour it back to the heart. So heart supplies oxygenated blood to its own walls also with the help of coronary artery. Now in the next class we will talk about the different blood vessels, the 3 types, and the complete plan of circulation.